right, good morning, people. That took a second. It is Wednesday, August 3rd. This is episode 167 of Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next 30 minutes, I'll be delivering the top cybersecurity news stories of the day and providing my expert analysis on each of those stories on, if you're a practitioner, how you can operationalize it in your day-to-day activities or kind of put it in the context of all the things that we deal with, right, in a day-to-day basis. Or if you're looking to break in the industry at any point in your career journey, I guarantee you're going to be asked, how do you stay current in cybersecurity? And I'm telling you right now, this is not just a great answer, but it's not fluff, right? There's actually content and data points and information and actionable intel here that you can take advantage of and really help shape your understanding of what operating in the cybersecurity space is, who the players are, what are some of the key terminology. Long story short, there is wicked value here, regardless of whomever you are or wherever you are on your career journey. Now, I want to say shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor right here, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Got a big update with Barricade for you guys later in the show. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations. What would you do if that was the situation? You're actively dealing with a criminal organization that is punching you in the mouth repeatedly. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. Think of them as like a digital fire department, and the fire is ransomware, right? You don't want to be figuring out who to call or what, which fire department is the best one or what their rates are or how effective their staff are while your house is on fire, right? Be a little proactive. If you don't have a solution already, consider kind of a no obligation phone call or meeting with Eric. Eric's been on the show many times. He guest hosts the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. You guys know him. He's very effective at what he does. I want to remind you, if you hold professional certifications that require CPEs or CEUs, somebody reached out to me yesterday and told me that they did not know that these counted for CPEs. Well, spoiler alert, they do. Each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE. So that stacks 2.5 a week because there's 5 days in a week, 10 a month on average, right? Because there's 4 weeks in the month. Be sure to say what's up in chat, hashtag team live at a minimum, hashtag team replay if you're watching on replay, where you're coming from, where you're going, what's going on. The network in chat right now, chat, you guys know, it's a very inclusive, very supportive community. I hear wins. I see wins every day on stream. Say what's up. Not just to engage from a networking capacity, which I strongly encourage you do, but so there is a forensically sound piece of evidence showing that you were here and consume this information. That way, the certification bodies can't push back and be like, oh, you weren't there. You're just saying that, right? There's evidence. And for my GRC people, evidence is a good thing. When we're doing those audits, right? Better evidence, the better audit. Now, if you are live, love it. I see 93 of you on the Simply Cyber YouTube channel or LinkedIn. I'm only pushing to Simply Cyber's YouTube and LinkedIn right now because I had some trouble launching the show this morning. I tried multiple times. So I just pared back all the different broadcast mediums that I was pushing to, hoping that would resolve it, which it did. So if you are sitting there staring at Twitch waiting for me to start, I'm sorry, you are Team Replay today. If you are Team Replay, definitely appreciate you catching it. I know it can be hard for some people. Now, if you're on Team Replay, you have the benefit of being a time traveler, and you can jump into the future of this broadcast, whether you're watching on video or listening on your audio podcast app of choice. When this promo card changes to news, we're off and running, but for about the first 90 seconds, I want to drink some of this delicious, freshly pressed French roast coffee and say good morning to you all, share some great news with you, see how everybody's doing, and then we'll get into the news. So good morning, everyone. Michelle Bergeron, good to see you. You're off today, but catching the Simply Cyber Daily Threat Briefing. Great to hear it. Oh, man, love bushcrafting. I've never done it. I'm, I guess, more a fanboy, I guess we'd call it. I watch the videos on YouTube. I think bushcrafting is awesome. I wish I had some land to do it. Hey, Shane Prevost. Zalia on YouTube, good to see you. Matt McDaniel, Tony MBA, always in the chats, love it. Justin Gold, a standard, regular, contributing member, Justin Gold of the Simply Cyber community. Great to see you, Justin. Ms. Scott, good to see you, Jax. Hope everything's well with you. Fraud Dog in the house, love it, love it, love it. Barbara Webb, good stuff, guys. Hey, just as a couple show notes, hey, Kimberly, good to see you. Matthew Ladas, good to see you. Just as a couple show notes, guys, it is August. I do teach, in addition to everything else, I do teach at the Citadel Military College, which does require me to physically go on campus. And that will be Tuesdays and Thursday mornings starting August 25th. So the Tuesday and Thursday broadcast of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing will adjust probably to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be at 8 a.m. still. If you've been following us for, this is episode 167. If you've been here for the long haul, you guys know I was teaching when I started this daily threat briefing. So it's going to be very similar to that. I know it's disruptive to many people. Many people did not like it, but it is a reality of what my schedule can dictate. And, shout out to the West Coast people, because you guys get an extra 2 hours before I go live. Justin Golds, yep, go back to school. BSEC, good to see you. All right. I think that's it, guys. I did have to spend a few extra minutes this morning. The CISO series did not release the blog post associated with the video, the audio today. So I had to go scrape a bunch of stories. But I think we're good to go. Sit back, relax. I know, Joel. No, George Strasburger. I am teaching. I teach to the South Carolina Citadel Cadet Corps. It's basically the undergrad staff. Jesus, I've been in corporate too long. It's the undergrad student body at the Citadel. It's a military school. So I teach to the undergrad students. But I do, obviously, if you want to take my classes, I do have the GRC Analyst Master Class. I am doing some coursework. I'm working on it for Threat Gen. I have some big plans that I just can't officially execute on because of contractual obligations. But whatever, just jump on the Discord, Simply Cyber Discord server. A lot more open conversation there. I do want to remind everybody that we will be raffling off a license key for World of Haiku. World of Haiku is a cybersecurity game set in the near future. It teaches you Linux basic skills and pen testing basic skills. It's wicked fun. Been raffling them off all last week and this week. Guys, it's for hashtag Team Replay also. I made a short video. Please watch it. It is 30 seconds long. This is how you enter the raffle. If you want to enter the raffle to win the World of Haiku license key today on this stream, you will need to go to the Discord server. ! Discord in chat will show you, but I'm going to play a 30-second video that I literally recorded yesterday because I went back and watched chat and it's 50 people trying to explain to, 50 other people how to enroll, how to do it, and it was just a hot mess. So this is going to show you exactly where you click to enter. So just stay with this, and then as soon as this is over, we're going to start the news story. Get the invite. You're in the Simply Cyber Discord. The giveaway channel. All right, hopefully you saw that. For those on audio, you couldn't really enter anyways unless you went to the Discord server. That is how you enter. Click on that emote in the giveaway channel on the Simply Cyber Discord server. All right, let's get into the news.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
Hey, Raymond, good to see you.
It's Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. U.S. crypto firm hit by $190 million theft. Researchers said Tuesday that threat actors have stolen $190 million worth of coins from U.S. crypto firm Nomad. The heist targeted Nomad's bridge, which allows users to transfer tokens between blockchains. Hackers moved roughly half of the stolen coins to 3 crypto wallets and also moved a small portion of the loot to a mixer to hide the trail of transactions. Nomad touts itself as a security-first business which keeps users' funds safe. The company has notified law enforcement and is working with blockchain forensics experts to identify affected accounts and recover stolen funds.
All right, another day, another crypto theft. Guys, it is what it is. I'm telling you, it's Wild West. Thieves go where the money is, and right now, this area, this ecosystem, this world, if you will, is so kind of fledgling, and they're not really inventing anything new as far as like protecting the data assets and stuff. But the fact that the crypto has to be able to move in and out, and the bad guys are able to take a criminal wallet basically and move the money into that, bypassing any type of like integrity check or validity check, obviously is the real problem here, the real story. Another $190 million theft. It went to 3 wallets in a mixer. Doesn't sound exactly like Lazarus Group, but wouldn't be surprised if this is Lazarus Group, right? $190 million, that is a lot of money. So I don't know. Like, it sucks. It sucks so bad. Again, I'm not going to deal too much because it just literally is what it is. But a couple things. One, there is a really great Darknet Diary story. I can't remember exactly which one, but it's about a younger guy who, basically goes after, I think it's the one who does the Verizon SIM sealing, but they take down, some kind of altcoin player in the market. I stay kind of tangential to the crypto stuff because I find it a really interesting case study of the psychology of criminal behavior and the way in scams and fraud. I mean, this must be what it was like in the early 1900s when, the stock market and the industrial boom and, the business, kind of Wall Street and all that stuff, which is scams and fraud and everything until things got regulated or settled down. But it makes me think of another, another issue with this. And we saw this with Luna token and, Celsius, right? And you don't have to know these different tokens. They're not entirely relevant to information security. But what ends up happening is like something like this could have a cascading effect. This is part of the reason this like crypto winter thing's happening right now. Celsius goes way down, and then it ends up being that people that hold Celsius have invested heavily or staked heavily in Luna or the opposite. So because of the value of that going down, Luna got pulled down, which pulls other things down. It has a very much a cascading effect because there's a lot of, I don't want to call it incest going on, but there's a lot of like using this coin to stand up this coin to stand up this coin. And it's all a big freaking house of cards, right? I'm telling you, this whole crypto thing, it's so, I wish I hadn't just removed my Charles Finfrock crypto sounder to make room for the KRS-One law enforcement one, because this would be perfect. But long story short, if you're working for a company that is hedging by using crypto or anything like that, the only way, this is cybersecurity, the only way to properly protect your crypto, right, if that's what you're doing, or if your company's staking it in order to like have like reserves in case they get ransomware or something, is to have your hardware wallet. If you do not, or the keys, final thing, if you don't hold the keys, you don't own the crypto, right? So like if you have money with Coinbase, Coinbase owns the money. You own like a voucher that says you own the money and Coinbase issued you the marker, right? Coinbase owns the money, right? Coinbase could close their doors tomorrow and tell you to pound sand, and that's that. So anyways, crypto, be careful. That's the TLDR on that one.
T-Mobile store owner busted running phone unlocking scheme. A former owner of a Californian T-Mobile retail store has been found guilty of running a $25 million phone unlocking scheme. Allegedly, 44-year-old Argishti Kudaverdian illegally accessed T-Mobile's internal systems between 2014 and 2019 to hack employee accounts and unlock customer cell phones. This enabled the phones to be sold on the black market. Kudaverdian promoted its unlocking services through sites like unlocks247.com, spam email, and various brokers. In 2017, T-Mobile terminated Kudaverdian's contract for suspicion of his malicious activities. However, he partnered with another T-Mobile store owner in Los Angeles to continue perpetrating the scheme. Kudaverdian is scheduled for sentencing in October, where he could receive up to a total of 62 years in prison for committing wire fraud, money laundering, identity theft, and computer fraud.
Wow. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, this guy made $25 million. Insider threat, I do want to say, scumbag. Not only was he, abusing his insider access, but he was phishing his coworkers and then logging in with their accounts to unlock phones. That's a special kind of scum. I know he was doing it in order to avoid having like, hey, why is Kudaverde logging in over and over and over? Why is he unlocking 30,000 phones this year? He was definitely doing it to kind of like spread, kind of hide in the noise. Probably didn't think he was going to get caught. I do want to point out that the indictment points out a couple things he bought with the money. This guy, classic low level, new to money criminal here. Land Rover, Ferrari 458, Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG, and a Rolex. This guy was rolling. What kind of what is that? Sheesh. Man, how many cars do you need, man? Like, what is this for? Like, going to get the groceries, driving the kids to school, weekend drive. Like, what do you, dude? I mean, I get it, but it's such a flex. I'm not surprised. I will be curious to see how much time this dude gets for going to jail, because he's breaking T-Mobile policy, obviously, and I guess you could argue like unlocking the phone sucks and everything, but it's not like a federal crime to unlock phones. The fact that he was phishing co-workers and accessing systems illegally, that right there unlocks the granddaddy crime, the Fraud and Computer Abuse Act, which is like been used forever. Well, since it came out in like 86, it's been used forever as like the law to God, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a legal term. It's like when you find someone guilty of a crime, the law that they broke is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. There's a better word for it. I can't think of it right now. But anyways, it's how you prosecute hackers. Maybe it's prosecute. It's how you prosecute hackers, and it has been forever. I will point out that the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act over the years has gotten more and more limited in scope and ability to hold someone accountable as having violated that law. But this one right here, this one seems pretty good as far as violating all those things, as far as accessing things you shouldn't be, misrepresenting who you are, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess it just goes to show you that there are, if there's a market for something, people are going to do it. I don't know if this guy needed the money. I mean, there's a difference between like, I got to pay my rent or I got to feed my kids and, I need a Ferrari 458. I feel like those are two different circumstances. Or maybe this guy just got a taste of the good life and was like, I'm leveling up, baby. I don't know. All I know is I'm stunned that it took T-Mobile this long to find this guy, right? Like, you're unlocking tens of thousands of phones. Like, that has to show up on some type of scatter chart as an outlier way the hell up here. I don't know. Whatever.
EU missile maker denies breach but confirms extortion attempt.
What?
European missile manufacturer MBDA has refuted claims of a successful cyber attack on its infrastructure. However, MBDA clarified that bad actors have indeed acquired some of their data from an external drive used by the company's Italian division. Hacking group Andrastia claims to have hacked MBDA's network to steal 60 gigabytes of data, including info about employees, classified military projects, technical schematics, and contracts. Andrastia has leaked a sample of the data and demanded a ransom payment. However, MBDA claims none of the leaked data is sensitive or classified and say they will not pay the ransom. Instead, the company plans to work with law enforcement to take action against the hackers.
Oh, get ready, Kimberly. All right, all right. So initially, I'm thinking that the story headline is so preposterous. Definitely getting extorted for data exfil. No compromise here. Okay, so they definitely are saying that the source of attack, or the way the compromise happened, was an external hard drive. So dude left it in his Uber, lady left it in a plane. Someone stole it straight up, like walking in an elevator with the victim, and then like you chest pass them against the wall, steal their briefcase, and boogie out of there. Right? These are all different ways we can steal external hard drives. Here's my thing. Here's my initial take on this. All right, if I was a defense contractor who made missiles, it's very important from a national security perspective and the integrity of my contracts, which is how I make cash money. Cash money, Randy.
Straight cash, homie.
It's how I make money, right? If my network is getting compromised, if threat actors are operating in there, I know in the United States we see it probably more often than we should, but in the European side, it probably is not good for shareholder pricing, future contracts, et cetera, right? So I don't want to say deny, accuse, but it's, maybe it is true. Maybe they weren't breached. Maybe it was just a USB thumb drive that, got lifted. But it's very, very much in their best interest, this missile maker, to not be compromised. Now, the data's out there, and they are having a pissing match with the criminals on whether or not they actually, broke into the network. Now, they're saying it didn't happen. They're not going to pay the extortion. They shouldn't have paid the extortion in the first place, even if the threat actors were like, wearing their, internal network infrastructure pants and being like, we're like, literally, we're wearing your pants right now. Okay. They're still not going to pay the extortion because you really shouldn't unless you absolutely have to, but it's not great. So the spin that it is a thumb drive and an external hard drive, that's fine. Now here's my other thought. You don't just stumble on to an external hard drive. You don't just stumble up on, you don't get in the Uber after somebody and you're like, oh, look at this. What is this? NAS device. Probably a QNAP device. Wah, wah, right? So you don't typically do that. So it was probably a target. It was probably researched. It was probably not a mission, but it was probably a mission, frankly. If you give me some latitude with that term on getting this data. The fact that this data may have been on a thumb drive seems sus, right? Now, they are saying that it was not sensitive information, and therefore it's not an issue. I don't know. But obviously, threat actors got some data, and they're trying to sell it. So I guess I wanted to spend a minute talking about the implications of the value of the business and how a cybersecurity attack can change that value. Yeah, Fraud Dog brings up another interesting point, not having encryption on your external hard drives. Carl, all day long, Carl's taken the USB drive that he got at the conference, sticking in his machine. That's a separate issue, but then moving files on it. It's easy to move files from left to right. Hot mess on fire. Carl.
Flashpoint says MITRE's CVE database is missing vulns. A new report from Flashpoint reveals that almost 1/3 of the nearly 12,000 vulnerabilities it detected in the first half of 2022 were missed by MITRE's Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures database. Flashpoint also noted huge discrepancies in the severity and classification of vulnerabilities between its own VulnDB and those recorded in MITRE's CVE database and NIST's NVD database. Flashpoint also said the Common Vulnerability Scoring System overrates many vulnerabilities. The report indicates that 10.0 rated bugs account for over 51% of total vulns in each of the last 10 years. Flashpoint recommends organizations use more comprehensive vuln database sources and to prioritize remediation of vulnerabilities that have a public exploit, are remotely exploitable, and are easily patchable.
Okay, couple things. One, I missed a little bit of that story because I was texting with Charles Finfrock. I have a meeting with him at 8:30 this morning, which I'm not going to be able to make. And I told him to get on stream with us and say hi, and maybe I can hopefully talk to him after that. Okay, so here's the deal. Flashpoint, flexing a little bit here, saying that the MITRE CVE, which is kind of treated as the, at least in the United States, is kind of like a respectable trustworthy, high integrity vuln database. Doesn't have all of them. Flashpoint says that theirs does. Flashpoint, obviously a for-profit business. MITRE, while for-profit, is more of a think tank. So there is a little bit of conflicting objectives here. Do appreciate Flashpoint saying that, maintaining that. It is worth noting. I typically, like when I am looking at vulnerabilities personally as a practitioner. So this is actually great. This is going to be a great tip for practitioners, okay? Or maybe you do this yourself already. When I am looking at vulnerabilities, when I'm looking at MITRE CVE or Flashpoint VulnDB or any of the vulnerability data sets, here's the thing. You don't start there. You're not like, oh, let me just go peruse the vulnerability data set, right? Unless maybe red team operators do, but it doesn't work that way, and I'll tell you why. Think of the vulnerability database as a corpus of potential data, right? Like, or not potential data, potential opportunities. It's just a data set. When you are a red team operator and you're doing the cyber kill chain and you do the recon, right? The step one of cyber kill chain is reconnaissance, right? So you find your targets, right? So it's this IP range. It's this, Duha IP camera that we talked about yesterday, right? That had a vulnerability that got patched, okay? You scan your targets. You look, you find assets. You look at the assets. What listening services do they have? What operating system version do they have? What patches do they have? You do your recon, right? Now you know what your target looks like. And for the blue side, right? You're responsible. So you do a vulnerability scan of your network, basically to find shadow IT and get a current state of your existing network assets, right? Things on your network. Or you use Shodan and look at your external network facing and see what services are listening. Whether blue or red, you're using the same techniques. That's the thing about blue and red. We use the same techniques. It's just for different kind of purposes, right? So once I find that I've got a Duha IP camera on my network, and I'm like, hey, the hell is this, Carl? And he's like, oh, I needed to look at the loading dock. It's like, all right, and the business approves it. Okay, fine. Now I go to a vulnerability database and look, are there known vulnerabilities for this vendor's product? Is there known vulnerabilities for this version of the product, right? WordPress. WordPress is a great one. There's like WordPress 8, WordPress 7, 6, 6.3, 5, there's all these different WordPresses, and depending on what instance, which plugins, which has their own vulnerabilities, right? You need to know. So my long and short of it is even if MITRE CVE is missing some, nobody is starting at a vulnerability database to begin their research. They start by analyzing what they're looking at, and then they go to these databases. So the key takeaway here is be mindful that if you are doing research on existing vulnerabilities for tech that you're responsible for, whether you're trying to punch through it as a red team operator or you're trying to prevent getting punched through as a blue team, make sure that you're being heterogeneous on where you're looking for your vulnerabilities. Typically, I Google, right? I Google my tech, Duha IP webcam, and then I put space vulnerability. That's a great way to start, right? Also go to the vendor site. If it's a legit vendor, they typically will release security advisories. Again, if you're going to if you are literally find a piece of tech on your network and then you go type in MITRE or cve.mitre.org, I think that is it, and then you're searching there, you're doing yourself a disservice. But that's not how people operate. At least that's not how I operate as a practitioner. And I would recommend you don't either, because this is true. You could be kneecapping yourself. All right. This is light spice. Light spice. Okay.
Now we'd like.
Who knew vulnerability management would get me all frothed up? Okay.
Thank this week's episode sponsor, Hyas. Better production environment security starts with visibility. After all, how can you protect your most valuable asset if you don't know A, what's expected, and B, when something's happening that isn't expected? This is why Hyas Confront monitors traffic to alert you to anomalies, letting you address risks, threats, and changes while blocking infiltrations before they become successful attacks. Don't just react, take your security back with Hyas. Visit hyas.com, that's HYAS.com.
All right. Thank you to CISO Series as you know, most of the time it's a pretty seamless operation for me. Occasionally, like today, I have to grab the stories myself, but whatever, first world problems. I want to take a minute and thank everybody for being here. Special little announcement to share with everyone. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. I genuinely appreciate it. Barricade Cyber Solutions, I spoke with Eric yesterday. Barricade has decided to extend their sponsorship. We had agreed on a 6-month sponsorship. Eric really, appreciates what the channel's doing and what we're doing for the community. And he and the Barricade people agreed they would like to renew for a 6-month plus up. So Barricade Cyber Solutions will officially be the daily cyber threat briefing sponsor going forward through February of 2023. So thank you so much for the support, Eric and the Barricade team. I know everybody in chat genuinely appreciates it, and I appreciate it quite a bit as well. I also want to thank all of you as members of the Simply Cyber community, and I just want to point this out. I won't read this to everybody, okay? And I know, hold on, let me do this really quick. I know this is a little bit of a eye chart, but yesterday, if you recall, if you were here yesterday, we did a story on phone repair technicians and Samsung offering a privacy mode, right? Or repair mode, right? You put the phone in repair mode. And I had made the straw man argument about creepy technicians. What was the motivation of this repair mode? Protecting your nudes. LOL. We had a good time in chat, right? I know you can't read this, but I would encourage you to go to that video on YouTube yesterday and just read these comments. Mr. Kaiser is the handle of this individual. He messaged me last night with a very lengthy response. He is a phone repair technician, and he got into the details of not being like, people aren't always creepy. Those things get rooted out. It was not a contentious conversation. It was actually a very informative conversation. You could see I replied to him. I thanked him for his comments. I asked him some follow-up questions. He gave a very lengthy follow-up response. Net, I just want to say I appreciate having intelligent discourse. It's refreshing on a platform like YouTube and Discord, it happens way more often there, but having intelligent discourse, not just like F you and your views, or like you suck, like yeah, that happens on YouTube, but like it's nice having intelligent discourse and getting insight from individuals. I have not worked in a cell phone store, right? I don't know, so I'm basing this on the information I currently have. And this individual right here had better insight, better perspective, and he shared those views. And I just want to tell you, if you're interested, you may want to go check it out. It's like, whatever, a 45-second read, but it was really interesting. Final reminder that we are raffling off a World of Haiku license key here in about 9 minutes. Auto pick in the Discord server on the giveaway channel for those who have hit the emote in order to enter. We are currently at 79 people, and there's 175 in chat right now. So if you want to, no, you can only enter once. Someone keeps like entering and removing their emote because they're trying to double in. You can't do that. If you want to enter for the license key, go to the Discord server, hit the emote. The bots will pick the winner in a few minutes, and I will let everyone know. Let's keep on ripping, y'all.
Top universities are falling short on email security. According to Proofpoint, 97% of the top 10 universities in the UK, the US, and Australia are failing to adequately protect students and staff from email threats. Proofpoint examined the institution's domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance, or DMARC, policies, which can help defend against email threats such as phishing and business email compromise. While not foolproof, DMARC helps ensure that only authorized senders can send messages from registered domains. Unfortunately, nearly all the universities had DMARC policies that were not securely configured or had no DMARC record at all.
All right.
Semiconductor.
Okay, so couple things here. One, Proofpoint again. So obviously, this is a motivated report. We talk about this all the time. Anytime you see like, reports find that 97% of blah, 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 right? There's usually some type of vendor bend. There's some type of financial backing behind it right now. Again, I've said it on the channel and I stand by it until further notice. Proofpoint is an excellent email security an excellent email security gateway. Okay. They're not sponsored. I'm not affiliated. I've used it and it's good. They're pointing out 97% of universities, their email sucks, right? Or email security. This is probably true. I worked in higher ed for 6 years. There's not a lot of money in higher ed, despite the fact that students are coming out like underwater up to their gills in student debt. And professors, again, I also teach at a university, professors get paid not well compared to private sector market. I could flip out about that, at length with numbers. But that aside, for some reason, there isn't a lot of money. Someone's making all the money. I don't know where it's going right now, but it's not being invested heavily into into security, especially email security. Email is such a common attack vector. I don't think it's hyperbolic saying that like 80% of cyber attacks involve phishing at an early phase of the attack, whether it's spear phishing to get creds, whether it's just mass phishing in order to trick someone to download or install something or get some type of initial compromise, and then threat actors move laterally. Whatever it is, phishes get into the network and get in front of Carl over and over and over again. So it's part of the standard playbook for threat actors, right? The T-Mobile guy was phishing coworkers, right? That's how you get the access. Now, the story talks about basically not using DMARC. Guys, if you are responsible, I'm looking at you, BSEC, if you're responsible for email security at your business, whether or not you're a cybersecurity professional, maybe you're at Matrix or you're just, IT, which business thinks that you're also InfoSec. Obviously, I have contention with that. You should consider setting up, ready, DMARC, DKIM, and SPF, right? And I think if you implement SPF and DKIM, you get DMARC. It gets a little confusing, but like one of them, it's like you cannot have. I think it's you cannot have DMARC without having SPF and DKIM. I think that's it. But long story short, it basically just makes the validity of the people sending you emails not authorized, but like validated, right? So like spoofed emails, business email compromise type emails. Thank you, Alfredo. Those type of emails just don't come in anymore, or they get flagged as like potentially sus, right? I will tell you two things. One, it is one of those projects where you put it in place, right? It's a project, like let's say 3 months, depending on the size of your org, how many users, whether or not you're buying a third-party SaaS solution that your email routes through, a million things, okay? But 90 days, you could stand this up if you had the budget and stuff like that and the time. You could stand this up and you're off and running. It does require a bit of ongoing maintenance, so don't think that you're off the hook for just cutting a check and yelling YOLO and going to the beach. It does require a little bit of upkeep and maintenance, because you will get situations where external domains are getting blocked or flagged, right? So say you're using Salesforce to send newsletters out through your marketing department. So it's not coming from the internal domain, but it looks like it's coming from @yourbusiness.com, but it's really coming from Salesforce. Same with Google Mail, right? Like there's a couple instances where it will require a bit of like finesse and massaging. But I'm telling you, the value you get from setting it up initially and then having a little bit of ongoing maintenance is worth it in order to combat some of these common email attack vectors. So consider it DMARC, DMARC. At a minimum, get familiar with what that is. If you get asked in an interview how to deal with phishing emails, right? And obviously you can answer the obvious, like security awareness for end users, email security gateway, like you could say looking for phishes, whatever, right? You could do all those things, but I'm telling you right now, if you tell them, well, why don't we use DMARC, DKIM, and SPF, and then we could do this, this, and this, just an idea, but we should also do security awareness. Like if you drop DMARC in an interview, like it's going to look, the people interviewing you are going to look like the Memorex commercial from the 80s. And I know I'm dating myself. Google it, millennials. It's basically a guy sitting in a big recliner chair and he's got a speaker in front of him because Memorex used to be a music company that made cool cassettes. And like he's just getting like blown back, like just blasted back with music, right? And that's what I'm saying. If you're dropping this type of knowledge in an interview, you might even be educating the person interviewing you. So get smart on that. It'll help you.
Your manufacturer hit by ransomware. German power electronics manufacturer Semicron has disclosed that it was hit by a ransomware attack that partially encrypted the company's network. Semicron has production sites in 8 countries, and its technology is used in 35% of wind turbines worldwide. The German Federal Office for Information Security alerted that the ransomware operators are blackmailing the company and threatening to leak the stolen data. A ransom note found on one of Semicron's encrypted systems indicates that attackers from the LV ransomware gang stole 2 terabytes worth of data. T-Mobile to off.
Sorry, guys. I was texting with Charles Finfrock again. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, again, I hate to say run-of-the-mill ransomware attack, but, looks like they got ransomware, files encrypted, classic double extortion tactic, no problem. Hired an external party, right? Do you see this right here? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm every morning when I talk about Barricade Cyber Solutions and having someone to call. This is what I'm talking about. Like, they get punched in the mouth. Immediately, they're working with an external cybersecurity and forensic expert. Who is that? Well, it's a company like Barricade Cyber. Okay, I'm not saying it was Barricade Cyber. I'm just pointing out that this is where that service fits into the big picture of everything. I don't know. I guess whatever. I hate to say it's such a basic B story because I feel for Semicron. It sucks. It sucks, right? I don't care if you're like Stark Industries and you're making weapons of for war, which, I'm not saying that's good or bad, or if you're making, first aid kits, right? Like, I'm trying to use the two ends of the extreme, right? You're making Furbies or Tickle Me Elmos, or you're making, semi-automatic weapons. It sucks. Like, you shouldn't have to fear being attacked by a ransomware threat actor, but unfortunately, that's the deal. And this story right here is so commonplace and so normal that it's not even like it's newsworthy in the fact that it's like it's another one. So hopefully it'll come out who attacked them. Hopefully they get their data back. But kind of sucks. I mean, the supply chain for chip makers and stuff is already jammed up. It doesn't help when a major player in that semiconductor space, which is part of that supply chain, gets hit. I'm sure it's going to affect business operations. Like I say every day, guys, right? Like, when you get ransomware and the ransom is for, like, let's say $1 million, that $1 million is not the only cost associated with it. You don't say it was $1 million data breach. You have operational downtime. You have to hire that third party cybersecurity forensics experts to come in. You might have to replace systems and hardware. You might have to hire extra staff. You might have to hire external legal counsel, right? I mean, there's a lot of hidden costs associated with it. There's also the value of the data that was stolen, which is very difficult to valuate. But, like, let's say that Semicron had some type of like new next gen chip, right? Now it's out there.
For data priority services to first responders. After analyzing many situations like the recent Uvalde, Texas school shooting, T-Mobile has developed a new data priority strategy for all first responders across the U.S. The carrier will offer first responders a free network upgrade to wireless priority service free of charge. This service includes a minimum of 512 kilobits per second network speed and access to service in areas where T-Mobile is unavailable. The announcement makes T-Mobile the only wireless carrier to add data priority in collaboration with CISA and DHS.
Okay, I mean, this is a cool idea, but, like, here's the situation, guys. Like, my cousin is a paramedic. He's been a paramedic for, I don't know, 20 years. He, after the, was it 9/11? He was at the Boston Marathon Patriots Day terrorist attack, if you recall that. He actually worked that. He was working the marathon, and then he ended up working the terrorist attack. But he has priority service. So I think the story here, and wait, good on T-Mobile for like trying to capitalize on this thing. He has priority service. He's had first responder priority service for years. I really think it was the Boston Marathon bombing. So he's had it for years. I think the story here is that T-Mobile is automatically doing it. I think he has to opt into it. I think his company does it and pays the fees and all that. So T-Mobile is basically saying we're not going to charge for this first responder thing. Whatever. I mean, the good news is, I think that this is proper, right? I think first responders should have wireless priority services because, guys, when 9/11 happened, like, telecoms froze because every single person within like a 3-mile block of the Twin Towers was trying to call someone to tell them that they were okay, or someone was trying to call them to see if they were okay, right? People are having to make horrible decisions between burning or jumping, and, getting a chance to say goodbye, it, meant the world, and they're unable to get through. Now, they wouldn't get first responder status, but what I'm saying is, as firefighters are trying to coordinate, and paramedics are trying to coordinate, and all this is trying to happen, and it's all gridlock, this is a totally legit, process improvement. And if you want to like wicked nerd out and map it to a NIST control, I want to say it's like, what is it, like SC7 or SC17 maybe? My NIST folks will have to fact check me on this, but there is a control. It kind of seems like an oddball one that sticks out on its own, but it's alternative telecommunications medium to be available if main primary telecommunications go down. This right here addresses that control. And frankly, if I was involved in a horrible incident, or my family, I would want the paramedics and the police and fire to be able to get to them ASAP. So good on T-Mobile, and good on those first responders. Thank you.
Quantum encryption contender taken out in 1 hour. Last month, NIST selected 4 post-quantum computing encryption algorithms to replace current algorithms like RSA and Diffie-Hellman, which are unable to withstand quantum attacks. NIST selected 4 additional post-quantum encryption candidates, potentially add to the list pending further testing. However, during the 4th round of testing, crypto researchers from KU Leuven developed an attack that breaks one of those candidates, called Psyche, S-I-K-E, in just 1 hour using a single traditional computer. Although experts are surprised at the simplicity of the attack that broke Psyche, there is no impact on the algorithms already selected by NIST as approved standards.
Oh my God,
and that does it
that
for today's
sucks.
cybersecurity.
That's okay. So first of all, quantum computing, it's right around the corner. NIST is obviously busting their hump. New AES that is quantum compliant. So whenever this, quote unquote contest is done, we're gonna have a new major buzzword in our industry: blowfish, rain doll, AES, right? Like, it's going to be one of those. It'll be a CISP question, I guarantee you, or answer. There will be a new buzzword in our industry, whatever algorithm wins. Now, I want to say there was down to Final 4, and one of them gets punched in the mouth because, and I'm glad that they did this, some researcher was able to crack it using a single computer, right? Which shouldn't be possible, right? At the quantum computing, right? And I feel terrible for the David Zhao, professor at University of Waterloo, who's co-inventor of this algorithm, because basically, your algorithm is trash now. Like, it's not, like, you might as well stop working on the algorithm because it's not going to win, and it's got a significant flaw. Now, I think maybe the only way is if they can go back and fix it. But if this is like a architectural underpinning of the algorithm that was the vulnerability, then sorry, But I will say it looks like NIST is giving a $50,000 reward if you're able to break any of these encryption algorithms. So, nice on NIST again for incentivizing security researchers beyond, beyond, just street cred, right? You got to pay the bills. You gotta feed the researchers, right? So good on them. Stay tuned. I am looking forward to whatever the key algorithm is. I might even do a little research to see what the 3 finalists' names are. Hold on 1 second, really quick. I'm just curious if it's in this story. Oh well. I was hoping for some cool names. Oh, here they are. Here they are, guys. Psych isn't one of them. I don't know, but check this out. You're seeing it here first. Crystal Kyber, Crystal's Dilithium, Falcon, and Sphinx Plus. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pulling for Falcon, right? Come on, Falcon. Crystals is probably going to win. I mean, obviously, there's 2 of them called Crystals, so they got a 50% chance of winning. Nothing to do with the math. Just pure names. All right.
Headlines, but if you missed last week's Super Cyber Friday.
All right, so that's the news for today. Coming up on time. Let me see. Guys, reminder today, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on August 3rd, which is right now. So just a few hours from now, I will be going head-to-head live against Cyber Matt Lee, a.k.a. The Beard, in the Red versus Blue Threat Gen cybersecurity simulation platform. I have not been doing well recently. I think I've lost my last 2 matches. I've been red in those matches. I haven't played blue in a while, or maybe not head-to-head. I haven't played blue. But Cyber Matt Lee, great guy, member of the cybersecurity community, great personality, smart dude. He'll be streaming on his channel. I will be streaming on Simply Cyber and Threat Gen's YouTube channel, which you can see the name of Threat Gen right above the Red versus Blue, so you can search for it. They will be shoutcasting it. Simon Lindstead from the UK and Clint Dungeon from deep Texas will be shoutcasting the match head-to-head. So please, if you've got some time, if you're looking for some entertainment and some educational value, the turns are 60 seconds long, so I don't have a lot of time to explain my methodology. Or you can watch me try to explain my methodology and then get incredibly infuriated when my timer expires and I didn't make my turn, which happens more than it should. It will be a good time. We definitely have fun over there. So go check out, if you go to youtube.com/threatgen, you can get giddy up on that. So I'll see some of you at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Oh, let's talk about the World of Haiku winner, right? Sorry, guys. The winner was selected. Congratulations, Alex S. I don't know if Chad already blew up about this and I missed it. 94 people entered. Alex S. is the winner. Alex, please connect with me on Discord or LinkedIn, and I can get you your license key. Remember, guys, I will be doing the raffle again tomorrow, doing the same Discord drawing because it's fair for Team Replay. # Team Replay. They're people too. They need some love, and I want to make sure that they get that. But Team Live can obviously enter. World of Haiku. We will be having the CEO on tomorrow on live to talk about the platform. Gonna try to get some raffle keys raffled off live on stream, so that's another way to do that. That will be a live on stream only, so go for that. Guys, it's been great. You all are wonderful. We're doing it all together. Simply Cyber community. It's something very, very special to behold. Have a great day, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 3rd. I'll be dropping the audio podcast right after I get off the phone with Charles. Be good, everybody, and thanks so much. We'll see you.